understood. We are very happy that Comrade M.V. Murali, our veteran leader and former Secretary of State Bank of India Staff Federation, is here in Hyderabad to speak about his long experience in the Federation. My first question to you, during your tenure, what issue dealt by our Federation you consider to be most important?
And at that time, we were having separate pay scales, not linked with the industry level. And during 1978, we were brought at par with the industry in scales and wages. So at that time, because of that, in the State Bank of India, we were able to get some additional DA in view of the middle class index or accepting the working class index, because they wanted to make everyone equal, in equal footing in the banking industry. So in the banking industry, for all the people, it was only working class index. And our scales of pay and the increment rate was different. So that has resulted into payment of existing allowance. So clerical cadre employees, they got existing allowance and additional DA. Sub-staff category employees, they got existing allowance. In the next bipartite, that is fourth bipartite, it was converted into increments, additional increments. So that way, State Bank of India employees, they got a benefit. And especially where I appreciate my predecessors or veterans is the fourth thought, what they used to have at that time. At that time, this computerization is coming, and foreign banks, they are being permitted to enter into the banking industry. New type of private banks are coming. So they are coming with a lot of improvements in the technology. So definitely they will have an edge. So at that time, our management was also pleading that you should allow us to introduce some computerization, some technology like that. And much prior to that also, when the bank requests technology, our federation was in forefront in agreeing to the extent which it is required, absolutely necessary, minimum necessary to the bank. It is not that they are given a free hand because they wanted to have technology or computerization. And at the same time, the thinking of the federation is, because we are agreeing for the computerization, the bank is getting some benefit. And out of that, you have to give a portion to the employees also. It has to be shared with the employees. So because of that, that 9th June 1989 settlement has come into the state. It was signed between the federation and the bank. It has resulted into one increment to all the employees who are in service as a particular date. Opposing that, there was a lot of love in the banking industry. The other so-called trade unions or leaders, they have declared, one great leader also declared, that I will not allow even a single calculator in the banking industry. But later on, in 1993, these people are forced to go to the government saying that similar to State Bank of India, we shall also give an increment, we will also agreeable for the computerization. Of course, people may wonder what the federation has agreed at that time. So, in lieu of the one increment, what they have agreed is to introduce standalone computers having 1 KB memory. In fact, when the pension is introduced in the bank, so as State Bank of India, we have Staff Federation, we have demanded that this is an additional amount, because at that time IBA said that it is costing 1,600 crores in the banking industry for extending the pension to the employees. Of course, that is not applicable to State Bank of India employees. So our federation has demanded our proportionate share should be given to us. So ultimately we went on hesitation and we were able to make them agreeable to pay to that amount. So that amount has come to us as a existing allowance to the employees, and it is being paid on continuous basis to all the employees who are there in the services on a particular date till their retirement. And another thing what Federation has ensured is that whatever weightages that have come, either because of the additional increments or some additional facilities. These amounts will continue to accrue or benefits accrue to the employees even after reaching the maximum till their retirement. That is one achievement we should say that the Federation has done to the employees. And in every bipartite, they used to foresee something and they used to raise a demand, making a package just not because we belong to the State Bank of India. Because as State Bank of India employees, they are supposed to get. Like that they used to demand and they used to get that benefit to the employees, either as existing allowance, special compensatory allowance, or pension balancing allowance, whatever name it is, they used to continue to get that. And this career progression scheme that was introduced in the State Bank of India is also a unique one. It was not there in any bank. Automatically, on completing certain years of service, employees are given a little more that promotion like that within the cadre, and they are given some additional earnings. Of course, along with that, they have to discharge some higher duties also. There is also one benefit of the people to Federation leadership to bring it to the State Bank of India employees. Apart from that, many more benefits which are not there in other banks, they also ensure, particularly in the welfare area, like the establishment of dispensaries, extension of pre-diagnostic facilities, and dispensing the medicines freely to the employees, improved medical facilities which were not there in any other bank. So better than the facilities which other banks are having. And as I said, the housing loan also, first time it has come in the State Bank of India. Apart from housing loans, vehicle loans, particularly car loans to the employees, to the clerical cadre employees, nobody was thinking at that time to extend the car loan, but our federation could get it to the first to the clerical employees. Thereafter, even now, the subordinate staff employees also, the car loan is, four-wheeler loan is being given. This as a welfare measure, our people were able to get it. So these are some of the important things that could accrue to the State Bank of India. And apart from that, our forefathers or our veterans, they fought on principles. It is not about the convenience, whether it is possible or not, like that. They stood on certain principles. They used to fight with the government, launch hesitations, and ultimately they were able to succeed. These are also certain of the things that are done by our veteran leaders, like Amaravasti resigning because the management has not implemented one of the understandings which the Federation has signed with the management. And these are certain of the things which our forefathers have fought on principles.
Comrade Venugopal Reddy ji, you are a very senior, beloved leader of our association, and we know that you are the former General Secretary of our Madras Union. You know that we are going to celebrate our 75th anniversary of State Bank of India's Federation. Now, we actually want to know about the genesis of our federation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukhopadhyay. In fact, I am elated to receive you and discuss about on certain important matters with regard to our Platinum Jubilee celebration of our All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. In that, you have been asking about genesis of our federation. So, before talking about the genesis of the federation, I would like to say certain of the facts. In those days, employees have been treated like bonded laborers, and they have been treated like slaves. And in fact, there was no proper working conditions. And the employees have been teased and harassed, and they cannot even see sunrise and sunset. Like that, they have been continuously working in the bank without any time norms or anything. So this has slowly an aversion has taken place in the minds of the employees. And in fact, I must tell that the Bengal Association has done a very, very pivotal position in those days because your association has been started in the year 1920, even before the Trade Union Act. And it was under the alien rule you have done. I appreciate and applaud the Bengal comrades for the courage they have shown and the way in which they have started the union. And subsequently, with that union took birth, a lot of improvement in certain of the areas, working conditions and other things, it has slowly started coming. And like that, in South, Madras Circle in those days, they were also, the employees were simmering. And because they want to break these, actually, the bonded labor system and the way in which they have been treated, they cannot tolerate. So, in those days, it is also very difficult for them in the presence of the management people or anybody to talk or discuss with them. So in Chennai, in those days, they will go to the court buildings, Madras High Court. There in that place, they will all join together, a few people. Those valiant people, they join together there in that place. And that too in the nights, so that their face could not be identified by anybody. And such people, they all joined together and they have come to some conclusion. We cannot allow these kind of things to go on.
It happened in 1946.
It happened just before 1946. The framework was
1 year before the
before they are simmering and all that.
Yeah.
Slowly it has developed, and on account of that only, they will finally decided that they will have their own union.
Yeah.
And that is that too, the Imperial Bank of India, Indian Association, and Staff Association at that time. They have started that has been started on 4th August 1946 at the same St. Mary's Hall. Here it has been.
Now I will ask you one more question,
Yes,
please.
yes.
That is, during your long tenure and your career in the trade union field, what issue, please identify one issue that you like to highlight that really will show the path to go forward for the future, for the entire State Bank people for the
Sir.
future. One issue
Yeah.
dealt by our federation.
I'll tell you, the Federation and Federation of 9th June 89 settlement, they have signed. That signed settlement, they have gone back
Yeah.
at the biggest of the central government. And what is this people who have signed and going back on that, it is unfortunate. And at that time, we want to go and we all India level, we rose in revolt and we want to do it. At that time, M.R. Ravasi was the workman director in the board.
Yeah.
The federation has decided this is an issue which this management is doing like that. It's not accepting. And they have said, our federation workman director, who is a bank director now, he must raise it in the board and he must walk out of that and he must do something in the board. In the board, Mr. M.R. Avasthi boldly has focused the entire issue and said that the management has no local standing to go back on the settlement which has signed. If it is not going to be implemented, there is no other way out for me. I will have to resign the board of directors and get out of this board and join with everybody, and we will have to fight out till this settlement is done and implemented. With that idea, That is one individual person, even he was our representative there in the board. He has highlighted in such a manner and hats off to his courage and guts at that time, and that has yielded ultimately with our strength of the federation. We were able to see that the settlement is implemented. This is one thing. Thank you.
Yes. Now, today we have with us our leader, Comrade Sanjeev Kumar Bandish, and for the very old comrades, old employees of State Bank of India, I like to remind them that and introduce him as he is the son of our great leader, K.K. Bandish. My first question to you, now in the changed banking scenario in our country and also in State Bank of India, what do you think to be the challenges before the management and also before the members and our leadership today?
In the olden days, what we find was that the staff was much more in number in any of the branches because of the manual setup of the banking. But with the change scenario, slowly, once we have made an agreement on the computerization, when our forefathers who could see not writing on the walls but beyond the wall what is written on that, and because of their art, the employees of State Bank of India were the pioneer in getting one more increment at that time. That was the agreement of 9th June 1989. Because of that, we could had a lot of criticism from the banking industry, from the trade unions, from other trade unions also, as if we have sold our rights to the bank and bank management. But thinking on that particular reason for that was that they were forcing that in any day now banking without computerization may not be possible because it was whatever was happening throughout the country. Seeing that part and realizing that part, we could enter into an agreement with the bank where the entire staff of State Bank of India could get one more increment on the plea that because of computerization, when bank is going to go ahead and because that business will be increased, because that profit will be increased, why not it should be shared with the employees of the bank?
Yeah.
So with that logic only, that increment was given to us, and once that increment was given, by that time we had become a part of the IBA. So again, there was a lot of hue and cry by the other unions, and to get it implemented, again we had to give a call for the indefinite strike in the month of October 1989. Just 1 or 2 days prior to that, we could get that thing clinched and we got that increment. And that the same unions who was criticizing All India State Bank of India Staff Federation for making such an agreement, they just bestowed before us, they requested to our leadership that they should help in getting one more increment for them also, and they were also ready to sign the same type of agreement. So this was the thing, that was the foresightness that our leadership had in All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. Right from the day 1947 when we have formed this federation, or prior to that when we had formed this Imperial Bank of India Indian Staff Federation or Indian Staff Association, I mean. But as we progress slowly as this computerization happened, as this liberalization took place throughout the country, at the time of 1991, Dr. Manmohan Singh, when he became the finance minister of the country. So with that, because that concept was changed from social banking to commercial banking. So at that time we had nothing to say in that matter, and slowly government was insisting on profitability of the banks. So accordingly the bank's performance for the balance sheet was changed. Accordingly all the concept towards the banking was basically meant, that was changed from social banking to commercial banking, and we also started thinking in that direction only. Once we went from the social banking to commercial banking, so naturally to earn profit, we had to reduce the staff establishment expenses also and other expenses also. Because of that, slowly, government has also banned the recruitment, and we also started the way the government has acted, and in 2000 only BSRBs were discontinued throughout the country, and till 2008 we could not have a single recruitment. Though during that period we went on strike for so many time to have a fresh blood, because we were feeling it from 1986 onwards. Government has banned it. From the last already 14 years we are not having any recruitment, and to run the trade union and to run the trade union movement, fresh blood and the young blood is must.
Very correct. Actually, entire banking scenario has changed now because banking system has been changed and spread all over the country in a novel way, and computerization and mechanization is a reality today. And our members are also trying to implement all the programs of the bank because it is a necessity. Our members always try to give a good balance between our duties and our rights. Now, I will ask you, do you find that the attitude and commitments of our members to the leadership and our organization are we changing nowadays?
In this, just when I'm about to give the answer of this question, one thing is very important, that we should remember it, that in 1986, when the government has banned that recruitment, for 14 years we could only recruit in State Bank of India or in any other public sector banks. It was only 0.75% of the total staff strength at that material time, inclusive of the compassionate appointments.
Yes.
So, in case whatever the number of people, suppose in a particular circle there were 6,000 clerical staff, so hardly we could recruit 45 people. So 45 people within 4 years, 5 years, they become training officers or JMGS1. So almost all the people they could be promoted. Or during that 14 year, 14 into 0.75, it's hardly 10.5. From 2000 to 2008, there was no recruitment. So 14 plus 8 to 22 years, almost 10% of the people were recruited, and almost out of 10%, 8 to 9% people were promoted. So we could not have any person who was just taken afresh. So almost 22 years back, people had been recruited, and most of the people, they had been taking the promotions. Those who were recruited in 70s or 80s, just after this emergency also, 77 slowly, because there was a lot of expansion in the banking activities. AOs, mostly AOs and all local head offices, they were open at that time in State Bank of India, especially like Chandigarh Circle, Bhubaneswar Circle, Guwahati Circle, lot many new circles had come. So because of that, lot many new people had come, and almost all the people were young, so they were just promotion conscious, so the people have taken they were running after the promotions. And in 1999, we introduced career progression in State Bank of India. Because of that, every year the promotion test was being conducted. So, but we were not having the recruitment. People were getting retired also, people were getting promoted also. So by that time in 2008, when we could succeed in bringing the new recruitment, by that time almost all the people of the bank, old people, those who were having the real concept of trade unionism in their mind, those who had really furnished this association to this extent, that were missing. So that basic cause, that link, earlier we were used to have 300 staff, or hardly 5 or 6 people were new. So it was just a namak in the atta. So that was absorbed and all the people were trained. So now it is almost in 2008, all the atta was missing, it is totally namak. So all the youngsters are there in the branch, but there is no one to tell them about the trade unionism. Secondly, the concept, because of this 1991 liberalization, privatization and globalization, those boys who had born after that, they are having the corporate culture in their mind. And they started thinking that the trade unions are not good. These trade unions are perhaps this political class leaders. Once that concept comes from the political class, so they were not seeing the leadership with a good eye. So that is the image a person who joining the bank was also carrying in their mind, because they do not have that experience of the leadership of State Bank of India Staff Association or the leadership of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. They had seen the leaders of the political parties. Those who come after 5 years, make false promises, go taking the votes, and again come after 5 years. So because of that culture, so that thing was not grown up, and because of that thing, these people, those who had grown up in the new society, new rules after liberalization, because of the corporate culture, because by that time all the government vacancies, government recruitments, government, this thing has already stopped. So they had to compete in the open market, in the public sector, in the open private sector. So because of that, they were afraid of joining the trade unions, because in the private sector there were not much of the trade
And
unions.
is it partly because of better service condition? That may be one of the causes. The sufferings of our founding fathers of our association and federation, they had to fight. But nowadays, members are not no doubt about it that they get better social support, supports are there. Their service condition is no doubt better than the previous one. Obviously, the urge, necessity that our founding fathers felt or our former leaders felt, that is not there. It may be one of the causes, but I think the days are not so conducive, not so flowery. Future is not so flowery.
So you are
We will have to be much more union-minded. We have full confidence in the sagacious leadership of but our members should also come forward. What is your message to our members?
So this is why our people have started thinking like that. As I said, because of the link missing, because they have not seen the olden days, they have not seen the olden trade union in State Bank of India or in the banking sector.
Yeah.
By the time they are born or brought up, so communalism is almost over the world. So communists are not seen with the good eyes, because these people always say communist means high, always strike and all these things. So because that is not the real thing that communist tells us, that is only to fight for our rights, that is the basic theory. But these youngsters, they are, as I said, they are born and brought up in the corporate culture. So that social link is missing.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, whatever our predecessors, our former leaders have suffered, they have suffered to achieve a single penny they have collected. But these people have got that khajana all of a sudden. And whatever they feel is as if everything has been given by the management itself,
Yeah.
in a single platter.
Yes.
They do not know the history of this federation, they do not know the history of this association, how we have fought and how we have earned, even the timings.
And the sufferings we have.
Even the timings
Yeah.
of the Imperial Bank of India, when the people used to have the timings to come in the morning, but they were not sure at what time they will go in the evening.
Yes.
And even I have been telling in my speeches throughout the country that even in the night when the dogs used to bark in the streets, mother used to tell it is not some thief, it is a member, it is an employee of Imperial Bank of India who is going home after completing his job.
Yeah.
So these people I have only seen from Paune 10 se Paune 5. They do not know how we have achieved it. They do not know the sufferings of the officers, those who have been demanding the regulation of the working hours. Because till date they could not get.
And the security and the service security. That is also very important
This
thing.
is what it is. This is what it is. It started with first the timings, the service conditions. We could force the bank or the government to appoint different commissions, like different awards came, San Award, Gupta Award, Shastri Award, Desai Award. Then we let it go. We did not like that award system. Then we shifted to bilateralism. Then how we started with the bilateralism in State Bank of India, how we entered so many agreements one by one for achieving the service conditions. So these things are to be taught to the newcomers, because they are the people who are going to carry over the baton in future. That is why in the Silver Jubilee or in the Golden Jubilee there was no need of celebrating throughout the country, because members are already enlightened enough.
Yes.
They were not to be enlightened. But this time, at the time of Platinum Jubilee, we had taken a conscious decision in the Executive Committee of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation that this type of a meeting should be held in every circle.
Correct.
Where we have to tell the youngsters about the achievement, about the history, about the past glory, about the past sacrifices made by our leaders.
Yes, effectively. Now, thank you, Comrade Ramesh. My last question to you, that in this Platinum Jubilee year, the golden tradition, the golden heritage that our federation is bearing now, what will be your message to your members?
My message to our members will be that they should come forward, join the mainstream of the association, know about the sacrifices made by our previous members, our leaders, and try to carry forward the torch or the baton that they are going to be handed over in the shorter term, because almost all senior people are going and all the new people are going to take over. So my sincere and only message will be for them not to surrender, not to be frightened of, but to carry the message that is right is might that will follow in the days to come.
Thank you. My another question is there. It is a unique feature of State Bank of India Staff Federation and the entire leadership of State Bank is that from the very inception, we are free from any political party influence. We are not affiliated to any political party. We have our own political ideas without a party, but we are not under any political party. It is something unique or characteristics of an association. Do you think that our members should carry forward this ideal in future also?
Whatever our principles of the association we have formed, maybe in 20s, maybe in 30s, maybe in 60s, maybe in 70s, that is still valid enough, because we know it fully well from the last experience of 75 years as a federation or more than 100 years of the association, that whenever we need something, we have to fight for it, go for achievement. So irrespective of which government is at the power, which management is at the power, our message to our members is that no management, nobody is going to give them anything in the silver platter. For everything, they have to fight on if they want to survive in the social market. And secondly, for a non-political organization, why we should be a non-political? Because the moment we turn into a political organization, our membership will be divided, because somebody will be from BJP, somebody will be Congress, somebody will be Communist, so we ourselves will be divided, our unity will be gone. So just to keep our unity intact, we have to be under one banner, that is All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. That is the real, you can say, a political thing or whatever it is. Because as far as the trade union is concerned, it is All India State Bank of India Staff Federation. Political party can be, I can belong to A party, B party, C party, you can belong to A party, B party, C party, but that should not come in any way, or that should not interfere in the working of All India State Bank of India Staff Federation.
Thank you. Thank you. We hope that in the centennial years, after 100 years, also we shall carry on this principle of our association.
Yes. This is a real thing, and we hope, not only hope, but we are sure whatever thing we have carried forward till 75 years or 100 years of the association, our young generation, young blood will carry it forward, not for 100 years, but 200 years, 300 years. This process will go on. And all the best to all the people. This is what we conclude here. That's all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.